So Zach, you know, 3 to 5 years, I'm sure you'll still be doing social media, but in addition to that, what do you want to be doing?
Well, okay. So I started off just doing social media, and I've always loved music, and I've always been into it, but I just never knew like what I could actually do with it, and like I could actually make it and create it. But and I'm pretty sure everybody was growing up and thought they were Justin Bieber, or that was me. But so I just recently got into music as well. Like I've been doing social media for the longest, and then I eventually transitioned to having music as well, which I love that. What I love about that is how I still do music, but at the same time I'm posting as much as I do regular content as I've always had. So it's just like a bonus, I guess. But yeah, I just want to continue making music. I also want to get into acting and just keep going. And
Where can we find your music?
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Got a plug, get that promo.
Yeah.
You can find my music on iTunes, you can be on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Anywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud.
All the platforms.
There we go.
And then, so do you see, you know, obviously social media not going away, but do you agree with what they said, how social media will help you launching into those new stuff?
I feel like social media is very important because if you do have a big following, it's just a good thing on you, you know? Like if like companies or anything, like if it's like for a movie or if it is for music and they see like your following or how like, you know what I mean, like supporters you really have, they'll like consider, you know, like using you a lot more. So
right.
I feel like it is important to have a good following. Yeah.
Cool, okay. So let's step back and talk about early on, because it's not easy to get 4 million subscribers and to get 2 million on it, 2.2 on Instagram. And you know, you've grown, I know Didda, you're starting to grow. It's not easy. I think that one thing I've learned from getting to meet a lot of the social stars is that they are very talented. Sometimes I get annoyed when someone says, "Oh, they got lucky to get that many followers." That's not the case, because there's so many other people that have 50 followers or 300, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my point is that it does take talent and skill and savviness and knowing how to care about your fans to get there. So, what early on did you do that worked well? And if someone out here wants to get to 100,000 followers, what advice would you give them?
Okay, well, my advice would be, actually this has worked for several of my friends that have started channels too, and it seems like such a simple thing to do. But my advice would be to pick an upload date and consistently upload on that day, because then when people subscribe to you, they can always rely on your channel, and then it will slowly grow, because a lot of people...
So you're saying like Wednesdays at 11 a.m., like same weekday and same time?
Yeah, because we post on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. our time. Every single Wednesday, we have never missed a day, and I think that really helps people know that they can rely on your channel, because you will always consistently be posting, and so that really has helped. And a lot of my friends have grown really fast after picking a consistent day and posting consistently. So it seems very simple, but it actually works.
What's interesting about that is that with TV, everyone says, you know, with Netflix and DVR, nobody watches appointment TV anymore. But now on YouTube, it's kind of going back to that, where 4 o'clock, what's your time? Eastern Pacific? What is it, Eastern?
When we're in Texas,
Central. So 4 o'clock Central, they know that they can find your newest video.
Yeah, it's like you can almost like recording your show, you know. It goes up at a certain time, you can watch it then, or it'll be there forevermore if you want to watch it later too.
Is it ever hard to get it done by then? Because it forces you to have a deadline too.
It does.
You can't miss a week, so.
Yes, it does. Well, we actually try and plan a video ahead of time. So a couple of times we have, during the summer, banked videos, and our fans, or you guys, actually notice sometimes, because I'll change my hair, or I'll cut it, or I'll color it, or something will happen.
We get comments like, I see you guys recorded this early.
And it's like, they're very supportive. They just love seeing content produced from us. So, but yeah, we do try and film a little bit in advance. So we're filmed for like 2 months in advance right now, which is really nice, because then we can always be one step ahead. So we'll always have content to put up for.
Well, how about with like timeliness? Like if you're 2 months ahead, if you want to do a VidCon post, you want to do it next week, right? You don't want to do it 2 months from now.
Yeah, so you can bump it.
The schedule's always changing. It's always shifting based on like new trends and new videos that we're recording.
Like fidget spinners, that was something we did not see coming, and all of the stuff like
that. We just
like
like throw things in there sometimes, and then it's just like a crazy, always moving, always like just changing and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
awesome. So what has worked for you?
I guess I have
early on, like, early on, what worked? Like, right, your first 100 followers, like, what really worked?
I guess
Well, for me, I have a different perspective because it's not my main priority to become big, and since I make more of I make different, very creative type of content. A lot of the things like uploading consistently. I've tried that and it worked, and I know, and even though I didn't stick with it, I really know it works. So that's good advice. For me, making videos about trends, making a lot of challenges, kind of showing your personality, I've noticed works, although, yeah, like I said, I have a different perspective since I'm more of a creative and I'm not trying to get big, so I really make videos for myself.
Right. Cool. Okay, so Zach, early on, well, when did you get started, by the way? Like, when did you really focus? I guess YouNow was your first main network?
Yeah.
When did you start on YouNow?
It's 2017, right?
Yeah.
So like 2014, probably like, I think August.
You're already a veteran. It's been 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, you know, August, maybe your first year, obviously you grew. I think you're one of the most followed on the whole YouNow platforms.
I think like second maybe.
Oh, so like, top number 2 on YouNow, which is, you know. So what, you know, early on, what really got you to not get to number 2, but to really get to maybe 10,000 or 20,000? What worked very early on?
Well, for me, social media kind of came at me randomly. Like when I first started, I didn't have the intentions like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. Because to be honest, I didn't think I had a YouTube channel when I started. I know I didn't have a Snapchat or a Twitter when I started. Like I wasn't like a social media at all. But I was on Instagram one day and I saw somebody broadcasting, and I've always been like the person to try to like be funny, you know, like trying to make everybody laugh. So when I saw that, like someone live streaming, I was like, oh, that's me. Like I could totally do that. And my intentions were to just do it to like my few friends, like, you know, like would be like, hey, come watch me, come live. But no, that didn't happen. One night I was on for a while, and then I got first place, and I got featured. So then I got like 500 viewers, and I guess like I was in a good moment, and like I really entertained them, and they really got hooked to me, and they're like, yo, like I like this kid's broadcast. So the next day I went on. 300 of those people came back, and after that, it was just kind of.
So you got featured at a time when you were producing good content, as opposed to when you were just.
Yeah, since I didn't like really start with the intentions of it, I do have a lot of advice though. And my 3 things I would say is, 1, being very interactive with your supporters. I've noticed if you're not as interactive, that's how you can lose and like.
And what do you mean by interactive? Like if they comment, what does interactive mean?
I love to DM on Twitter, Instagram, like I like to talk to them, you know, make them like know like I'm there for them. Also, when they comment on my Instagram pictures, I'll scroll through and like the comments, or I'll comment back to a lot of people. So just being really active with your supporters is very healthy for you, because if they're like, oh, he never notices me, like people can literally just like stop supporting you for that. So, and it's just, you know, it's like I like to know that, like let them know they're appreciated for everything they do. Also, oh my god, I talked so much, I forgot. Also, to be consistent, like they said, being consistent, like that for sure does help, because they'll know, like, oh, he does this at this time, so it will like keep helping it grow. And the last thing is to be yourself. There's so many people on social media that are like not who they are. Like you see them online and you're like, oh, they're such a nice, happy person. Then you meet them in person and you're just like, whoa, that's not how you were. So being yourself, because I've seen a lot of people like try to fake a personality, and like you can't do that forever, you know, like when you do social media, it lasts for such a long time. So it's like being yourself is really what's going to get you where you are.
Okay.
Can I jump back in?
Of course.
I just remembered one tip I have is make friends, genuine friends. I started on a collab channel, which is really what started my channel. And making friends is so helpful because you can make collabs and you can share audience. And if one of your friends grows, and if it's your genuine friend, they're gonna help you grow as well. So yeah.
So one more question, then we're going to take some questions from the audience, but one thing I'll say is please keep the questions short and you know, keep them fun. But if you have any questions that you wanted to ask, you know, maybe I'll hear your question and then I'll, you know, make sure if somebody wants to take it, and have the question be for the whole group as opposed to one person, so everyone gets a chance. So my last question is about different platforms. You know, there's so many different social media platforms and there's new ones growing. So do you believe in focusing on a few and producing native stuff for them? or making sure you're on every platform so you don't miss the next wave? Working to mail you, or maybe both. Like, how do you think about different platforms, how to post, which one to do?
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of the social media platforms, are very different, so it's very easy to create different content for all of them. Like, you wouldn't post the same thing on Musical.ly as you would. Like, I know they cross over, but I'd post something else on Instagram and YouTube. But I feel like you should definitely dabble in several of them to make sure that you're hitting the majority of your audience. But we really channel all of our social media branches straight to YouTube. So YouTube is our main focus, but I definitely try to hit as many as possible and try and interact with as many people as possible on all social media.
Okay.
Well, yeah, my main platform is YouTube as well. I really use other social medias kind of as, my personal thing, but I really try to promote my videos on there as well.
Awesome. So it's like, how do you think about, I know you now is live streaming, and then obviously that's different than other platforms, but how do you think about that?
I agree with what they said. Every social media, what you post and what kind of content you put on there is a lot different from each other. I wouldn't post what I post on Musical.ly on Snapchat. It's just, it's not like that. But yeah, I have a certain technique of how I post and what I post, and I like to use everything because I feel like the more you use your social media, the more you grow. It's like, why not? If you have it, might as well use it. It's not like it's hard to do, So I try to use everything so I can just grow as much as I can and give as much content out. Because the more content they see, they start to enjoy it.
So is there any that you're not on? You're on Snapchat, or you're on Instagram, or you're on?
I'm on Snapchat. I post on Instagram story. I go live, YouTube videos, everything, Twitter, everything.
So how do you decide? There's so many different. There's only so much time in the day. So how do you decide? I'm gonna go live. Do I put it on YouNow? Do I put it on Instagram Live? Do I put it on Lively? How do you make that decision? Would it be better for you? So how do you think about that?
I've always kind of just gotta keep it the same as how I started, but Instagram story and Snapchat and Twitter, all those are kind of they can see it whenever. It's different from broadcasting, so I just put it up whenever I can, because I know they'll see it. If they didn't see it at that moment, I know they'll eventually go on their Twitter and they're gonna see it. But for broadcasting, I usually try to keep it at the same time, just as YouTube, they post at the same time, going live at the same time, because they're like, oh, I can't wait for his broadcast tomorrow at 7 o'clock again,
Right.
So they can just tune in. It's just literally a live broadcast. So.
Okay, awesome. So